see if it works. Green is healthy. That's good. No drop frames. Receiving your content. I don't believe you. What happens if we like move our head? Alright, I just blinked. Oh, it's like 10 seconds behind. I just forget that. Oh. Alright, that's pretty smooth. Okay, cool. I guess we can start then. Yay! Hello everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to September's DM newsletter.
Where are we? This isn't my apartment.
It's not. We broke into some guy's house and we set up. We have to get out of here in 20 minutes. Half hour? Something like that. No, we're trying it here this week at
This is Steve's apartment.
my place because the Wi-Fi at Owen's house isn't great, and the computers we're running it on weren't great. So we're like trying it here to see if it works.
Yes.
Chances are it's also going to be the last time we actually do this as like a live stream video format. So that's a bummer. But you know,
It was worth trying.
we had to try it. We tested it out. Didn't
Someday.
really work. If we get better equipment or better Wi-Fi somewhere, then we can do that. So going forward, we're going to be changing it to a little podcast type thing that you'll get on your Patreon feed if you're a patron. So you'll get like a little extra episode every month just about cool little facts, the episodes you just listened to.
Cool facts.
Cool facts. Like car facts.
Show me the cool facts.
Yeah. So let's get cracking. This month, you guys listen to the Goblins Flooshers fighting. Actually, I guess I don't know what we're up to. We made it into like the Tower of the 12, right? And then
Let's check.
We fought somebody, and then we chilled in his apartment and hung out,
I think that's it.
right? So
The last
that was very
episode
secretive. We're checking now. We're not prepared.
is called I Know a Guy. So
Yes.
actually the last thing that happened was they went to Lilith's
Yes.
seaside store.
So we woke up, we ransacked Aegisar's place, kind of, and then we met Lilithus
Yep. And bought some
and bought some stuff.
stuff,
Cool.
including a boat.
It was not a
Which-
folding boat.
Will be theoretically taking you to the
The water temple type
part of the
place.
lake where you'll find the water temple.
Cool.
This
So
is true.
I guess I got a couple of questions about the episode or session that we just listened to.
Okay.
From a DM perspective. That's why we're here. My first question is, did you expect us to actually beat Aegisar?
Yes.
You did. Okay. Because my next question was going to be, was that guy who was following us supposed to be Aegisar that whole time?
Yes.
Okay. Because I wasn't sure, like, when it was going on, I thought for a second, I was like, oh no, we just killed him. And he, like, had to make something up on the fly.
Nope.
But,
Everything about that guy, that version of him, was Aegisar.
Okay.
So when I described him, I actually said that you could see underneath his mask, you could see two blue eyes,
you did.
which is Aegisar has blue eyes. So I was nervous
Right.
that by saying that, you know, someone, and maybe some listener is this astute, and they were just like, it's Aegisar! Because maybe someone watches as much anime as I do.
Right. We didn't figure
and
that out around the table.
That's okay, I'm glad,
Yeah.
actually. And, yeah, so everything from his description to his name is super important. And, yeah,
Cool.
or the name he gave, I guess.
Which was
Brooder.
Brooder. Because he broods a lot?
Not quite.
No?
There's more to it than
Okay.
that.
Was it like a nickname from his youth? Or were you going to find out later?
You'll find out later, but sort of a nickname from his youth.
Okay.
And yeah, I did want you to beat Aegisar
Cool.
because I wanted to explain Simulacrum
Okay.
a little bit more, and Yeah.
Cool. Speaking of which, I don't think we really got to cover this too much last time, but you was my favorite character in a while. I know after. Actually, I don't know if we can talk about it, but we're gonna find out now. Off air, you said that he had this ability to do something that he did on air, like
He did. He did
multiple
something
times.
on air, which nobody reacted to at all.
Right.
Nobody thought was cool because I thought that was the coolest part about him.
Is that something that you want to go into, or like leave it for later?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
He at one point he changed his personality, and he gave a random, seemingly random assortment of letters. And in actuality, hey, thank you for tuning in. By the way, person
Yeah, one watching now.
that's tuning in.
Yeah,
Wait, secretly, is that us?
that might be us.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how YouTube works.
We'll go back. Can this person talk to us?
Let's find out. View full analytics. Oh no! What did I do?
I think we're okay.
I don't know. I can't tell.
There should be some kind of chat. Don't
There
you
is a
think?
chat over here. I'm gonna type something into the chat. If there's somebody else actually here, you should type back so we can say hi to you.
But there's a delay, I guess.
There is a delay.
So anywho, he said some random assortment of numbers and letters
Letters. Yes.
after, and he changed his personality type. That's actually a Myers-Briggs thing. There's a personality test you can take called Myers-Briggs. There's 16 general personalities that almost everyone on Earth falls into. Not to say that we're not all unique. Yes, you're
We're all
unique,
special. We're
just like
butterflies,
everybody
snowflakes.
else. Okay. So yeah, in general, people break down into 16 main personalities, and so the one he did was his Aegisar version, which offhand I actually don't remember which. I think is
I feel like
think
it was
INTJ.
Yeah.
I think was it. And it's amazing. I actually took the Myers-Briggs test as Aegisar.
Did you really?
Yeah, I put on my Aegisar mind, and I took the test as if I was Aegisar, and it got INTJ. And I literally am reading this description of INTJ, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Aegisar.
What is that
it's
called?
crazy.
Method acting, right?
Yeah, a little bit, I guess. I've actually taken it as quite a few members of the 12.
Cool.
So yeah.
That was neato. I really like that he was a big fan of the Goblin Sploosers.
Yeah.
I myself am a big
I'm
fan.
hoping. So it's not a spoiler. It's a reward for watching this. The personality that you first met him as is not his personality.
Oh, really?
It's just one of his personalities.
Okay.
So I'm excited for you to meet
The rest
the
of
character that his first personality was based off
Oh.
of, because there is a person that you will meet at some point
you. Right.
who is the oh my, the Goblins, that
Oh, that's
excited
cool.
fan
Yeah.
that there is a person who that's based off. That's not his real
Right.
personality. That's just one of his
Cool.
16 personalities. He has all of the Myers-Briggs.
Does he really?
Yeah, he's got all 16.
That's quite a role playing task you've given yourself.
It was really exciting to think about. Actually, it was really fun to undertake that.
Cool. So that's a little bit about you.
I just want to say though, back to the Aegisar thing. I was like, if he beat you, you were gonna wake up in his apartment,
Okay.
in his guest rooms, and he was gonna be like, I understand. Like, I'm really strong.
Right. I've been
So
around for hundreds of
I
years.
get that you.
Yeah.
But I was hoping that I didn't give you more of a reward because you beat him. Then I think he was gonna give you stuff anyway. He just likes you guys. Like
Which is not like what I get from him. Like when we interact with him, I feel like he's like tolerating us.
he Brimley. He tolerates Brimley.
Maybe
But
it's just my
I
view
will
of
say,
things.
so channeling my Aegisar again and
Mhm.
speaking for him, he really likes Lorthamar because they're very similar.
Yeah.
They're both like, let's get it done kind of people. He's a lot like Korath in that he has this code, and he will gladly sacrifice himself for the people that he's sworn to protect. He has less in common with Windar and Brimley, but I think Windar and Brimley remind him of two people. Again, he's mentioned before his adventuring party
Right.
and how you remind him of that. Like, I think Korath and Lorthmar kind of remind him of himself, but he, and I guess two of the people he traveled with, now that I think about it. But I think Windar and Brimley remind him of the two other people that he traveled with. And,
Gotcha.
you know, so again, as a thing, you know, that like, he thinks, like, it's nostalgic for him because he can remember
Gotcha.
however many hundreds of years ago being like, when, like, somebody did something that was, you know,
Yeah.
not what you'd expect them to do, the way Brimley and Windar do from time to time.
Cool. So after we fought Aegisar, we wound up in his apartment.
Si, senor.
We had drinks and merriment,
Mm-hmm.
and
I actually just listened to this one the other day. I was really behind for a while.
really,
And I was just like laughing, not at Alex, but just like Alex loves beer, and so and he loves D&D, and so like him
They
pushing
always come together.
to make, you know, his old character Gambrin to make his beer appear in Aegisar's liquor cabinet. I was just like chuckling to myself at, like, you know, I love that he's so passionate about, like, connecting.
yeah,
Because again, I've said before, I personally think that every D&D campaign is just an echo of every other D&D campaign. Like, you don't have to explain why a character from an old campaign is in this one. Like you could make it be like, well, that was the past and this is the present. Like, you know, I don't even think you have to do that. Like, it doesn't have to make sense if some character, like, there are characters from our old games that are in the past of this world.
right,
There are going to be characters from our old game, like Atreus.
yeah,
There are going to be characters from our old game that are in the present of this world, and it's not going to make sense chronologically. It's just every D&D world is the echo of every other D&D world,
cool.
I think.
Forgot where I was going. Oh, so we were in Aegisar's apartment.
Yes.
We were partying it up. There were two sort of relationship things that happened in there. First was Dira and Windar. I don't know how much you can give away about Dira's intentions or feelings, but she's made it seem like she's more like flattered and amused by Windar than like genuinely interested in him on the level that he is for her.
Yeah.
And then
Thinking about how much I want to say.
yes, but I'll give you the rest of it. And I can't remember the mystic's name at the moment.
Isabella.
Isabella.
Isabella Stormhammer.
Yes.
By the way, completely 100% based off of my Skyrim character, who's named Isabella Stronghammer. And then when I remade her, I made her thunder based, and so
Gotcha.
I renamed her my second time through the game.
Okay.
My recent time through, I named her Stormhammer.
About her, so she and Korath had like a thing for a second, but they weren't really a thing. I think it
Not
was just,
really.
just a friendly, like,
I
like
think
your abilities.
If it weren't for her personality,
Yeah.
I think, which by the way came out not the way I was anticipating. My goal for her was that she was just kind of like didn't want the hassle of things, and that came across, I think.
Right.
But the voice kind of was this like Long Island girl, horrible voice. Not that every Long Island girl sounds the same, but just the
But it is something you
stereotypical,
hear around here.
you know, the stereotypical like entitled voice, you know, really have to do this, like, and it wasn't exactly what I wanted, but it got my point across, which is good.
Right. So her and
She
Korath,
honestly, more than anything, she was interested in Brimley.
yeah, that was where I was going next. Was that something that you planned for, or was it just like in the
No.
moment you were like, all right, let's see what's gonna
Not
happen?
at all. I think like, again, to me, she's just like some girl in college,
Okay.
and this was just like, it was the end of the party,
Right.
and you were the only guy around, and she's like,
Oh,
well,
thanks.
I don't want to go home alone, so all right, no.
Brimley's too loyal for that.
I'm not sure how much I want to say about Dira, just because
Okay.
I don't want to
Steer
make something. I don't want to make Craig be like, oh, there's no hope. I'm
Right.
gonna just give up, because I don't think Windar
Right.
would give up. But I think you said it. I think you said it the best. Like, Windar is in hard infatuation mode,
Mm-hmm.
and I think she's in, like, you know, think about it. Like, if you're they're the celebrities of this world.
Right.
There aren't too many celebrities, but like these are the celebrities. By the way, the 12. A lot of like what I've said before, Aegisar was the first thing I made about this is gonna hurt about the world of Etrun, and then I built everything else off of him. But as an organization, they're based off in Kung Fu Panda, the 5 animal masters. I think
Right.
I don't know if they're called the Furious 5 or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
And like because Poe, Jack Black's panda character, has like action figures of them, and I was like, oh wow, like this is a cool idea that like some kid has like an Aegisar doll, you know, and a Dira doll, and he's just like pew pew, you know, like what we did when we were kids. Which, by the way, all those imagination games we played when we were kids, we basically just wanted D&D. We just didn't
right.
know
We just
that
didn't
it
know
existed.
that was there.
And so I don't want to say too much,
Okay.
but you know, think about how many people come up to Dira who are, you know, lords
Right.
and things like that, and are just like, you're unbelievably beautiful and unbelievably strong and composed, and you know, like, you know, and try to woo her.
That's true.
You know, so nothing real has happened, you know, other than Windar being like, you know, I'm really into you. He hasn't really done anything deep.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if he wrote her like a really meaningful letter and was just like, listen, I know I'm just a blabbering idiot, but
I think he should write her a sonnet.
or
and
something,
then
yeah.
recite it.
You know,
in the podcast.
that's different. You know, that's some sort of gesture. So
Right.
I don't want Craig to feel like you know, it's never gonna happen.
Right.
I will say in the moment, it's leaning towards probably not gonna happen versus could happen. But I like saying that out loud because then if it does happen, it means something. It's
Right.
not just
It
well,
was destined
he
to
had a
be, so
crush
why not?
and I'm the DM, so I'm just, you know, supposed to give him whatever he wants. No, that's not what a good deity does. You know, if she's not meant for him and he's not meant for her, you know, and I have something to say about it,
Yeah. I gotcha.
you know?
All right. Cool. I think the last question I had about.
Are we like almost done? This is crazy.
I know this is fast.
I don't want to stop doing these. I like these. Yeah, I do.
But we're still gonna do it just like, you know, the two of us in front of a microphone, and then if we can get somebody else here, then we'll be able to get them in front of a
We'll
microphone.
talk. I'm gonna talk to Steve.
We'll discuss.
I want to try to convince him.
Well, let's see how this one turns out first, and if it's like a staggering mess like the last two have been.
Yeah. Sorry for those.
Yeah, the last one was so bad we couldn't even use
Especially
the
if
video.
you're a Patreon person who's
Yeah.
like is, you know,
Really into this.
paying, and this is part of like not paying, giving, and
Right.
this is part of what you're supposed to be
It
getting.
is. It's a learning experience for us, and
It really
we're-
is.
We're testing it out. We'll figure it out. We got you guys. Don't worry. So
Last question.
last
sorry.
question, just about like the session.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
we could have other stuff after this. We can just hang and talk. What's
Mhm.
going on with you? You know, stuff like that. So
I'm working on an app. Not gonna reveal that here.
So when we were in Aegisar's apartment, there was a lot of cool stuff for the characters to find,
Uh-huh.
to read, and learn about. I have a feeling the giant turtle on the ceiling was always supposed to be there.
Oh yeah.
Cool. How much of the other stuff? Because I know, for example, Windar found a book that described a disease that he may or may not have.
That was on the fly.
Okay. Lorthamar learns some...
And for the record, he does.
Right.
He's got it. It's not
Okay.
a disease, it's a curse.
It's a curse, right. It's a curse.
He
He has that curse, but we don't know what it is yet.
That
We just know
is
that
his
it's a
curse.
curse.
in my mind, I was being playful. I said a propensity for dying early. That was me kind of referencing the fact that Windar has dropped more
Almost,
times
right.
than anybody else. But there could be deeper meaning there. I actually haven't thought about it. So
Cool.
it's not a spoiler because I don't know yet.
I know Lorthamar found some stuff just about general...
Battle
Fighting
tacticians. I wish I had
formations,
given
yeah.
him a little bit more on that actually, knowing what his backstory is.
Mhm.
I actually, when I was listening to it, I wish I had given him a little bit more, but
Okay.
we'll see.
I can't remember offhand what Korath found.
Korath found a map of this province,
Right, and he
which,
kind of copied it
hold on,
over.
I'm going through my geography, is the province of Maridon, or Maridon. And
Because Etrun is made up of the 3 separate provinces.
3 provinces, Maridon, Valornia, and the Plain.
Cool.
which is really mostly desert currently, still. and Brimley found something about orbs.
Right.
You were looking into magical.
Yes, I looked
implements,
into magical implements and I learned some
specifically
stuff about orbs.
Orbs.
There was also, I think, in the morning, Brimley opened a chest and found.
It was like your allowance.
Yeah.
That was Aegisar just being
Like, hey, you guys.
go buy yourself something free.
Yeah. No, I know that I found like the emotions, like the frozen emotions.
Oh yeah.
Because we so far, I think, in what you guys have listened to, this is like the most recent episode. I found the frozen emotion and of jealousy
they've heard
or,
that.
or envy.
Yeah,
And,
I think I said jealousy.
Yeah, so that was just like a cool little thing. Was that also like an on the fly?
That was on the fly.
But those are pretty impressive things to think of on the fly, if I do say so myself.
Thank you.
As another DM, I probably would not have come up with stuff like that.
To be so. It's when I say on the fly, I mean that I didn't like plan that I wanted you guys to find that.
Right.
But I had been reading. I had been playing a character at the time who's no longer with us. Not because he died, but because the campaign dissolved.
Oh.
Yeah. He was called the Spirit of Wind and Water, and so he's basically about ice. And so I was doing a lot of reading about the. I don't know if it's the para-elemental plane of ice or the quasi-elemental plane of ice. I'm not sure which one it is, but the plane of ice, this in-between zone between water and air, and I was reading about how there's this place where things get so cold that concepts freeze, and I just had been reading about it at the time, and Aegisar is called the Lord of Unbreaking, but he's all like his symbol is like very angular and. His color is purple, but it's also white. Like his hair is white,
Right.
His clothes are white, and when his simulacrum broke, it was an ice statue. So he actually does have a little bit of ice in there too. Like if he ever used offensive magic against you, like it was going to be ice.
Yeah.
And so he is at the level where he adventures into the plane of ice to just to challenge himself.
Right.
It's one of the most unyielding places in the multiverse. And so, yeah, he finds those are literally things that he's found.
Oh, cool.
It's not things that he bought.
Right.
These are literally things that he's found.
He's gone out there and just brought home with him.
Yeah, his reward, and they're worth so much.
Nice. Kind of wish. See, there are times when I wish Brimley was like a little bit of a rogue, because he has a tendency to just want to keep stuff to himself.
Sure.
But I think we're past that point. I think that's all the questions I had about this latest session. Was there anything you wanted to throw out there before we move on to something else? Or do you think that really hit all the major points?
I miss Lilithus so much.
I don't know how he's popped up 3 times already.
I know, and I hate myself a little bit for just continuing to throw Lilithus in places, because it breaks the illusion of reality, really. What is he? Is he a god? Is he, is he an aspect of nature? What's going on here? And, I don't know, you're the only people in the world that
run into this guy.
That know, you know what I mean?
But I think there was a point, I don't know if it was in the Riverside town, or if it was somewhere, or we're going into the desert, but somebody else knew of Lilithus.
Well, yeah, but I mean, so at one point, I don't know when it happened, Korath walked into the town and he said, please direct me to your Lilithus, please. And someone was like, how do you know Lilithus? You know what I mean? But it's not like, the guy wasn't like, oh yeah, when I travel, I also see Lilithus everywhere.
Right.
He was just surprised, oh, you know Lilithus? We've never been through here. How is this possible?
Right.
So you four are the only people
that have seen him in different places.
That understand, that are it's the same Lilithus. And, I don't even have an explanation for that yet, to be honest. Why just the 4 of you,
I feel like there must be, I feel like the 12 must be aware of it or something, but maybe they just keep it to themselves.
Probably.
Yeah.
But I love his voice, and I love, what am I going to say here? You followed him into his bedroom.
I did.
That was not going to be his bedroom.
Okay.
But because you were with him, it was his bedroom.
Okay.
So that's all I'm going to say
Gotcha.
about that.
Um,
There is more past that door
than just what I
than
saw.
just what you saw.
Cool.
Like, you saw a bedroom because he wanted you to see a bedroom.
Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty much his whole shop.
About how much Lilithus is aware of Lilithus, if that makes sense. Like I was like, I wonder if he like knows that he's in like all these different places. When people walk in, he has like that personality where it's like, what are you talking about? I'm just doing my thing.
Right.
But I wonder how much of that is like, he knows what's going on, but that's just what he puts on.
What's interesting, and I've thought about this, and again, it's not a spoiler because I have not decided anything yet. It's just things I've thought about.
Rattling
is
around
like,
there.
I would love it to be that like he's got like a blaster gun, and it's because yesterday somebody from the year 11,000 walked in. Like, I like to think that it's his space. His shop isn't outside of space. It's outside of space and time.
Interesting.
And that like throughout the day,
he just gets visitors.
From any year and any place.
That'd be really funny to like be in there when like a caveman walks in.
Yeah, or like a robot, you know. And it'd just be like, yeah, I don't know.
Cool.
I don't know.
I feel like I don't want to like throw out too many ideas because I feel like you can't do them.
Yeah.
But who cares?
Some guy sent me a thing on Twitter and was like, "Do this in the Halloween episode." I'm like, "Okay,
nice.
Sounds good."
I'm looking forward to that.
I'll do it.
Just quick aside, judging from the numbers that I'm seeing on the screen, it looks like this is working pretty well.
Sweet.
So maybe we just have to do this here from now on.
Yeah.
So maybe we can keep doing this. On a side note of that, we probably won't be able to do the pre-game live stream again because we can't do that here. We either play at your place or we played like Craig's place last time.
Right.
And neither place had a great connection for that. So we're going to be playing with the rewards a little bit. If you are of the $3 a month level or higher, we have some things in the works. I thought about the post.
Sure.
Okay.
I was gonna say you should also just like tweet at us and be like, "Here's what I want."
That's true. If we're redoing the rewards a little bit, if there's something that you're interested in that we haven't offered, it's probably because we haven't thought of it or we didn't think anybody would like it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're already a patron and it's something you're interested in, let us know. Tweet at us, email us, go to our website. There's like a little suggestion box there. I think it's called Descending Stone.
You can message us on Patreon too.
You can also message us on Patreon. That's an option. We have a lot of places we have to check for messages.
Because we looked at some other D&D Patreons, and some people have like, if you give $100, which is insane, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I almost want to say don't do that. Like, don't do that. That's crazy.
Take your significant other out to dinner
every month.
Right.
That's crazy.
And then give us the
But
tax.
some people have like, for $50 or for $100, you can create an NPC or you can create an encounter. Email me at thisisgonnahurt@dm@gmail.com, and you can do that for free.
That was something we thought about for a little while. We thought about setting up like a web
going
store
to be part of it, and then
where you could like buy the right to make a character and account or something. We were just like,
it just didn't feel right to monetize.
And that's something so cool for people to like, be like, hey, we want to put something in your world and to show up in the podcast.
And people have. I've got
that's awesome.
3 people.
Oh, really?
Who have an open invitation. I've spoken to them specifically.
Right.
Of, being like, hey, create something, and so.
That's cool.
It's I'd love to get into encounter and be like, by the way, this encounter was created by this person or this username.
Right. Yeah. So if you have an idea, please let us know. That'd be awesome. And like we said, we're gonna. So right now our plan is to kind of substitute the pregame live stream with posts just kind of about the background of Etrun and the characters that we've run into. Just to give you guys a little bit more about the world as a bonus for caring about the world enough to, keep us going. We're going to try to do that bi-weekly. As we go into it, we'll see whether or not that's realistic, and we'll keep you guys posted on the Patreon live feed.
If you send us that on Patreon too, there's a particular, Steve made the suggestion. He said, how did the mayor of the Riverside town become the mayor?
Right. Like literally, if you just have like
the Lord
a question,
the Lord Mayor, how did he get? his job. If if there's a particular character or a place that you're interested in, if you send that and be like, this is my suggestion for what one of these posts should be about,
Unless there's like a dire reason
Yeah.
that we can't do it.
if
That'd be
between
awesome.
all our Patreon supporters, one person sends in something and says, please talk about this, I'm going to talk about that one. Whatever it is, I will answer that question because you're the person that,
Right.
cared enough to ask for something specific.
Yeah. So besides that, I think the last couple of updates before we head out, because we just hit a half hour, which is cool. We will be recording a couple of episodes in October. A couple of sessions in October. So there's more content coming your way, which is awesome.
Keep going.
Can I talk about the theme session? Just the fact that it's coming.
The Halloween thing?
Okay.
And that was a yes.
Yeah. So we have a Halloween session that we're going to be recording in October. The plan is to release it just as one big session, probably.
Maybe two.
Maybe two?
I thought maybe release it like Halloween Eve Part 1 and Halloween Part 2.
Oh, yeah.
or
So
some-
within
something
like the
that.
same couple of days.
We'll work out
yeah.
the deets there. But
But so there is a cool Halloween session coming your way.
I'm very,
Hope you
very
guys
excited
like
about it.
it. I don't know anything about it yet. I can't wait.
He actually knows a teeny little bit.
I know a
about
teeny little bit. I was trying to be coy.
well, he's my executive producer, so
Yeah.
I have to run some things.
Besides that, I think that's all the updates I had. There was another one. I just can't remember what it was at the moment.
That's okay.
And for our patrons who have seen the fact that we have a goal for the first $100, where we are able to release a new podcast, we did do a 2-day session back in July, and we've gotten 240 minutes of that edited. There's still 14 hours to go.
It's unbelievable.
It's a lot of material. We're getting there. I'm really hoping you guys hit the goal before I have it all edited, because that would be cool. But if not, I'll have all this material.
I actually hope not, because that means we're gonna have to record
Yeah,
another one
yeah. That's
soon and start working on it.
Yeah.
But
cool.
I would like to say, I'm not trying to like humbly brag or anything, but there are people, and if you're watching this video, you know who you are. There are people that comment on iTunes, which, by the way, please, 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 more iTunes reviews, even if it's 1 star.
This is cool to see if people are like out there and helps other people.
At the
find
end of
us.
September, I've been changing this a lot. I'm going to take all the reviews that have been on iTunes and I'm going to randomly pick somebody to give this set of dice that I used in the last session.
I think that's something we should announce on the Halloween session.
Sounds good to me.
Cool.
There are people on iTunes who write really lovely things about us. Some of them, most of them probably not deserved. But there are people
Probably not.
who say crazy, ludicrous things like, and I'm not saying this, I'm sort of quoting somebody. They'll say ludicrous things like, listen, I listen to these podcasts, some of which are amazing, unbelievably famous podcasts with like millions of downloads, and they'll be like, and you're in my top 3 or something like that. And again, I'm not trying to brag. If you're one of those people who insanely thinks that we're
worthy of
we're
your time
up
on that
there,
level.
up with podcasts that rhyme with like schmitical schmoll and things like that, like, which again is insane to me. Like, all I'm gonna say is, like, one, you've done a lot by just writing an iTunes review, but if you really if you actually love the podcast that much, I'd ask, like, go blow us up.
Yes.
Like, go on Reddit. I was looking at Reddit and it was like, best D&D podcast, and I was like, I wonder if we'll be there, and like, we're on the list. I'm like, but like, it feels weird to put ourselves there. So like, if you love us, even if you're a super tiny little group of people that love us, like, let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's blow up.
Share us with your friends.
We'll bring you with
Facebook,
us.
Reddit. Yeah, we'll be like, hey man, he was there when, we were tiny. I watch
I watch a live stream of one D&D podcast, and there's a guy who's always watching it,
Mhm.
and he's literally been there since the beginning. Like episode 1, he tweeted in about something, which is crazy that they have a tweet in their first episode.
That is, yes.
But in this podcast, these people are quasi famous, and literally, like when people ask questions, they'll ask the guys in the podcast. They'll be like, "Hey, like what happened like here? Like what was up with that?" And they'll be like, "I don't remember." And then they'll ask this guy, this follower who was with them from the beginning. They'll be like, "What happened there? Do you remember?" And he'll write in and be like, "Oh yeah, this is what happened." And he's like part of it. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because he's been with them since the beginning, and he genuinely, you know, like loves being a part of this thing. So come be a part of this with us.
Yeah.
Or not.
Appreciate it. Yeah, or you could just listen to us on your commute, and
Which is
that's
fine.
also good.
I love that anyway.
I think that's it for this month.
I think so. I'm gonna go eat mac and cheese.
Guess we'll do this again next month because it
I hope
works. So. We'll review and let you guys know.
Yeah.
It's leaning towards yes.
There aren't too many people that get to watch it live.
Yeah.
Yet.
Get in there. I think that's everything. We'll see you guys next month. I need this hand to hit this button.